fog, old gods he slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he slayed. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, 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 Go7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what he'll say.
And... oh no! Oh no! Where's the penguin? Aha! Panic! Panic! Panic? We are back. Oh no! Immediate panic. And show up. There we are. It's fine. It's all good. The 2 a.m. post 14-hour workday. I'm glad I can help you fall asleep, habits. This is why you need a pet monkey. It's true. It's really hard to navigate computers when you've got penguin wings flippers. Their wings. I'm yeah, you worried for a second. I'm so sorry. I think they're called flippers like a fish? We don't call... What fish has flippers? I don't know anything about this game. Other than there's apparently a lot of shame. Deep shame on Waffles' part. Hello. Waffles has... or is playing the penguin, so it can't be that bad. One of your favorite maps. Deep shame. Fishes have fins. They don't have flippers. Seals have flippers. Sea lions have flippers. Is it viable to build a black boat on this map? If you're me. The Drake mirror. Shame is gonna happen. Lots of crying. It's cetaceans. Crying. I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get it. That's what the rain comes from. It's from Drake's tears. Today, tried to learn more about overlapping units and build orders by watching a lot of DJs videos. Sad to announce that you still have a long way to go. That's how it goes. I have a game, a top level standard game where I went with a black boat. It was recon into black boat. Just put hyper pressure on the one base. I liked it. Easy to die when doing it. But we'll see what these guys did. Yeah, Zeitghast versus Waffles. Okay. So far, everything's checking out. Oh, Waffles is going for... No, this is right. Yeah. Go for this because you start with an infantry over here. Yes, this is fine. I guess could have gone for the harbor first if you want to. Then I think this one. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It might matter, but I don't think so. There might be some vehicle timing. Okay, Zeitghast is going for these double properties first, where Waffles went for the backwards property first. Going for the backwards first is going to give you more immediate income, like income sooner, so you could go for some more aggressive plays because of that. But it does leave you potentially open to being harassed over here if Zeitghast goes for some sort of harassment. Zeitghast goaded Waffles into the Drake mirror and she went for it. Oh my gosh. Talking about mammal fish, what is everyone's favorite mammal fish? Yours is the majestic manatee. I don't know. I know the manatee. I don't know how many others are. Getting early income is usually better when you're learning the game because you get vehicles earlier, which means that it's harder to just die. And not dying is good. The early income matters a lot less the higher you get in rating, because you get way more comfortable with just not having vehicles out as early and still not dying. Base skip on islands is mandatory unless you build the black boat. That's true, they're base skipping. Zeitghast actually went for triple infantry here, just to get the comm tower faster. You'd only do this if you were doing some really aggressive play that required the comm tower. Considering that there isn't a single vehicle out on the field yet, and the infantry aren't in range of each other. Well, okay, there's this hostile tank. I guess the comm tower is helping with this infantry's retaliation. So yeah, that was not necessarily... Oh my gosh. We got 4 infantry over here. Well, if I see 4 infantry over here and I'm Waffles, the first thing I want to do is break this pipe seam, because these infantry are going to want to go somewhere. So there's probably going to be a transport built, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on my one base. So in order to save the one base, you can build a rocket, a fast rocket. This is what LVJD did to fight off my aggression. Fast rocket to break the pipe seam, and it targets the missile. So you can also unlock your airport, and then it doesn't really matter if, well, you know, depending on how everything goes, you're going to have a much easier time defending your one base side, despite having 3 bases of protection coming down. Because you have 2 base airport. That doesn't seem to be what's on Waffles' mind currently, though. In fact, looks like we're just going to go for some hyper aggression on Waffles' side here to slam right into Zeitghast's one base, which has built a tank, which is a little weird. Okay, we have the black boat. You would think that the tanks would get built down here to help with this aggression, but maybe the plan is to actually try and attack up here. That's going to be not as great because the base is right here. If you want, you can take this city, but you can also get that city for cheaper by building an artillery. Oh, Waffles walking away. One base side here. tanks. Okay, I guess this tank wants to stay over here so it can strike if we land, while still being able to cover this tank. This kind of take covers this tank. Ooh, okay. I guess has brought the black boat on over. Unloaded a single infantry. That one's out of... It's not out of tank range. So this is... I guess is gonna build the rocket, the fast rocket over here. Okay. This is not what I would have anticipated with the black boat. Usually you go to the black boat to do some aggression, but in this case we're going for like an aggressive black boat move followed by a very defensive rocket buy. Is very sus. Also, I was kind of fine with this sitting here and not unloading the infantry, but I guess what Zeitghast is thinking is I can draw this tank away and then it's just a 2-on-1 instead of a 3-on-1, but a 2-on-1 is still not great. Waffles does have a choice here. Can either hit this tank or interrupt the capture. I would probably interrupt the capture, because if you've got triple tank and they have single tank, like, you don't really care if they strike. And you can just defend this comm tower by building a tank and having this one. So you don't have to come back. You go for this swing. Yeah, so instead of this, I mean, the 6-7 trade's nice, I guess, but now this capture is going to go through. So I would prefer to have this tank come in, smack, infantry steps onto the river, smack, and then this tank steps onto this forest and interrupts the capture. I mean, this is fine. It's a bunch of first strikes, but Zeitghast can just kind of finish this capture and then run back to the cities to heal in the base for some protection. Okay, Waffles is going to do the response rocket. So this is oftentimes pressured on the map. The rocket can kill the missile, and when the missile's gone, then the air production can start, and you can get into some trouble if they've cleared their airport and then you are nowhere near clearing this missile. Then they can just build stealths, and your airport is still locked down by missiles. Now, that's not that big of a deal in this matchup. A Drake stealth isn't the scariest thing, especially against another Drake who can drain its fuel, but it's something to keep in mind. I do like saving that little infantry. Go. We're going to go down next turn. Tank covers the tank. This is what I was saying. Like, the city just gets finished, and the other guys, they just run away and they survive another day. And like the net, it's only one tank health that was netted here. It's not great for letting the city go. Okay, we get semi-free hit here. It's going to be like repair costs. Coverage goes that missile. I guess does get this capture pretty early, which is nice. This rocket was just too slow to stop this, and it looks like we're going to use the transport copter. We'll see how big of a panic Waffles has about that. You can build a rocket or a pipe runner to stop the city from being captured. Or you can always just build an artillery and actually just an artillery is fine enough, right? Because it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then you can also break the pipes and get your own infantry. We'll see if Waffles does that though. We've saved that guy. More infantry hop in here. Yeah, backing off is very strong. Because you remember, if you back up and they chase you, then they're next. There's the missile. Rest in peace. And Waffles has a lot more tanks than Zeitghast has, so I 100% agree with going in here. You've got to get some profit out of having invested in the tanks that your opponent hasn't. So no artillery built. This is indeed just going to get captured. But it's kind of okay because Waffles has both of these cities, but has denied this one. Could have denied this one, in which case it'd be super okay. But it's still pretty nice. The income's even for now until the city is captured. So there's a lot of time for Waffles to react. Okay, looks like both rockets are going to break their pipe seam. For infantry. That's it. Okay, it is out of. We have a slight problem here in that, well, I guess it's okay. This rocket can kill a tank, but if it's doing that, it's not breaking the pipe seam to free these other tanks into the fight, so. It's like not great, but it does slow down the incoming reinforcements, so there's something for it. But I think for sure you just take the free here. Not free, of course. I mean, you get here. You take the tank trade. Pop. Don't know what this transport copter's plan is. I mean, I guess if Waffles gets a little too careless with these infantry, like if this infantry walks to here, then that would be really bad because like guys would just move the transport copter onto this harbor, drop off an infantry in this forest, or no, actually you move the transport copter onto the forest and drop the infantry on the base, and then these two guys wouldn't be able to save the base. That would be absolutely tragic. Battlecopter's got a neck thing. What am I missing? What's Waffle doing? I'm not seeing. Stuff waiting? Does it tell me? Empty. Waffle somehow did 2 empty things. I don't know how that's possible. Okay, we are backing up. Try and protect the base. And now Waffles is going for both of these captures, which would definitely offset losing these 2 cities. Zeitghast's expansions. There's only 1 tank that can attack over here at the top. So I imagine these cities are probably going to fall. We do have double comm towers, so these are guaranteed city clears. Some nice attack by Yes. Was this tank in rocket range last turn and not get fired upon? It was ready to act. That's definitely a little fishy. Yeah, I was gonna say we do need an anti-air because this is at 19. So the rocket can break it, and then both of these copters can come through. It'll be like infantry plus copter to kill this infantry. The free smack. Currently, I'm really liking Waffles' position. Never mind. Well, I'm still fine with Waffles' position, but I thought these were swarming over here. Looks like it's going to be like copters to fight off copters instead. interesting. Decided to shoot the infantry rather than break the pipe scene. What's going on over here? I'm not quite sure why Waffles is running away quite so much. I would probably join cap this, keep the artillery around, kill off this infantry. Because there's still a tank, like a superior tank count and an artillery. This won't quite get here in time. I mean, there is a battlecopter, but it is a Drake battlecopter. No need to pull everything away. Is this the you made the live tournament? I don't know what happened to that. I think my prediction that it's happening in 2 weeks might be a little more accurate than the ones that were saying it's happening today. Or maybe it was the day before. I guess. Run away. Ooh, pops the normal power? So that's a really weird pop of normal power because it's so close to having the super, and charge efficiency wise for like damage output of the power, the super is a lot better. Okay, we have the normal power we used. Does kill off this tank. Then I guess hit the artillery. Down to 2. Very weird power. Wow, okay. And then we have the Drake fighter. A very aggressive drop off with this black boat. Well, Zeitghast didn't have too many attacks that really cared that the power got used. So it's gonna be pretty painful super in retaliation here. Yeah, after the super's used, the unit value's already swapped back into Waffles' favor, and there's been no attacks. Blackboat's gonna fall. Blackboat's down to 12 fuel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I can't make it. Blackboat's, unless another blackboat comes to save it, is just gonna sit here, probably. Okay. So in comes the Waffle attacks. Striking these tanks. The rocket can probably move rather than kill a 3 health infantry. This chopper doesn't reach this other copter, so it's going to move back here. That's fine. I think we messed this up a tiny bit here. We got these 2 tanks that are really far back, and they would love to take that spot, and then this tank can kill us. I guess if we're going for the capture, that's fine. It does take 3 turns, of course. Another copter. 3. You can see a huge... I mean, Zeitghast is still ahead in unit count, although part of that's how many infantry got built here. Oh, yeah. I would have preferred if this anti-air had stuck around and just killed this infantry off. I mean, there's only 1 copter here. It's being stared down by another copter. I don't really care about this fighter. I would care about the rocket though. Yes. Breaking through here with just sheer numbers. Wow. Fighter, no fear. Comes in, hits this copter. I will get bopped by an anti-air. The rocket doesn't even recover the fighter. Now, I do like this. This is a very cheeky little surround on the copter in the airport. Diving in deep to get some captures here for Zeitghast. So the nice thing about this fighter play is that it's going to give Zeitghast a lot of charge when it dies, but also cost a lot of money. All the way down to 2. Copter survives now. Copter be gone. This artillery should probably stay here. Just kill it infantry. This guy, if it's gonna fire, it should definitely kill off this tank so that the copter can. Why did the black boat move? It's gonna sink. It was. Never mind. Well, with the black boat here, the airport was locked in, but now the copter can step off. Little swarming in tank shots. Mech. Fine. Pretty scary attack. That guy's gonna have to build like a medium tank or something. But then that's not. You have the other copter built. That's the infantry down here. A little spicy for sure. Transport copter gets assaulted. It can't escape. It can't fly over the infantry. Okay. Zeitghast does get the super. Will do a lot of damage. How much damage was that? 112. 30k? Wow. That's a good super. We got that kill there. That 7 damage. Mech finishes off the infantry. Anti-air kills the copter in the port, and the port starts getting captured. I mean, the fighter can block here. Kinda. There goes the artillery. Rest in peace. It looks like those cities are going to fall to Zeitghast. Tank's gonna chill there. I don't know why the tank's chilling on that city. I guess it's to try and stop a strike from that city. Maybe it's to be protected by the rocket. I don't know. That's not a very safe rocket, though. Okay, so Waffles... Oh my gosh. Waffles started that turn at 112,000 value, ended it at 61,000. It was all... The value was almost cut in half. Ooh. But I can definitely understand why you would go for this to hit the rocket. You can break it with infantry. Instead, I'd really like to kill off this fighter. Otherwise, you might lose the airport because the fighter's such a good blocker. Ah, never mind. It's fine. Never mind. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Don't feel mad. Rocket pings over here. Out of ammo, down to 11 fuel. The tank. There's the city capture. We have some nice sacrificial plays. I assume then this 8 health infantry is going to finish the job. I'm just thinking about it. Yeah. Beat up a whole bunch of tanks. The helicopter gets the kill. The transport copter goes down too. Waffles should probably have gone for a little less effective at a little less cost-effective attacks here. In order to get the super, you have to like take damage. I'm not quite sure which ones would be best to take damage on, but being short 4k from the super is definitely painful. I guess does get both of these cities. This one base from Waffles is almost completely out of units, but so is Zeitghast. Such is the way of Brush with Death. So many units just popping, pop. Fighter just belligerently asking to die. Places itself right next to the anti-air. I assume that's in order to get more charge. Okay, so all of the units from Zeitghast have retreated from the one base, so Waffles is okay over there now. Kill off this infantry. Same with that when the rocket survives, chills on the city. Yeah, I mean, attacking into this seems really good. There's only injured tanks. Down goes the rocket, down goes the infantry. Waffles refuses to kill the fighter. I mean, killing a essentially full health copter does make more sense. This is looking really good for Waffles. There goes the black boat. Fighter blocking the way. Nice anti-air and tank attacks. I mean, vehicle-wise, I guess is kind of stabilizing at the top. Although we're at 29k value versus 83k. That's a hard amount to come back. Almost half the value at the end of your turn. Oh my gosh. Does the fighter die this turn? What was that about? Why is this I guess it's because the copter's covered by the rocket. It has no fear. Okay, there goes the fighter. Anti-air goes down. We have a complete surround on this tank. Start going for these captures. I feel like the Waffles is going to go take these back as fast as possible. Artillery, a tank, and infantry. Seems fine. I guess just kills this copter off. Smacking, so we're going into these tanks together. I guess it's so poor. Okay, it's not protected by this tank, so that's a fine attack to go for. Just build another infantry. Waffles has a lot of units around this HQ, but there's no healthy infantry to actually go for the capture, so there isn't that same level of pressure. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize Zeitghast went for another fighter? Why? The only reason I can think of to go for a fighter here is just to get the super faster. I mean, I guess it will be at 6 health and then be able to harass these copters. There was an anti-air in range. That's such a painful buy. Okay, these copters just go for harassment down here. I mean, we do have triple anti-air now. Yeah, so it comes down, smacks a copter. We'll see if it can get enough value. It might. Run, infantry, run! Smacks from the city. Zeitghast does have that 2k income lead because of these two cities. It was turning out to be... I mean, the T-Copter was a nice little investment. For sure. It probably should have been used for either going like more infantry down here or this way rather than kind of wrapping around and dying, but besides that, it's okay. Waffles starts taking these seas back. See, now all the copters will be protected by an anti-air. Yes, getting some nice kills. Still really far behind in unit count. And joining units together and building a battleship and then deleting this infantry. Why? Well, I guess, I mean, you can take this one off the city for sure, so you're not paying repair costs. But I don't know why they had to be deleted. Okay, Zeitghast going for some sort of weird play here. So everything is deleted over at the top. The bottom's not deleted though, so it's not like I resign through deletion. Is it I want to stop Waffles from getting enough charge? But Waffles can easily get enough charge because there's copters staring at anti-airs. I don't understand. Waffles does go for factory to the base capture. Or anti-air's a little surrounded. You get the Typhoon from Zeitghast. There's a rocket built in response to the battleship. And then we have a resignation. So I guess it was some sort of resignation play. It was just half a turn's worth. GG. That's quite the game. I was very confused. Ascending. So, Zeitghast getting these two cities was really nice. I think Waffles just had way too good of pressure overall in the fights. Sure. The fighter buys, I think, hurt a lot. Drake fighter is it's a tough answer to go for. The recommended shorts are all about birds. GG. I don't know why Waffles was feeling embarrassed about that game. It seemed fine. GG. We have Poland versus Neverlocke. Sami versus Max. Well, I'll make Poland into triple base. Right. Left. Max versus Sami. Now that's a matchup you can cheer for. You've got a game going on, Brushwood Death is currently a stalemate. If you play like they were playing, stalemates don't happen. But that map can stalemate a lot. Okay. In we go. Max versus Sami. You'll usually expect Max to maybe go for some sort of recon harassment against the Sami. It looks like we're not seeing that. So it might be just more of a tank-focused gameplay here. No, we do see a recon. It's just a slower recon. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is, if you built the recon last turn here, it could have been here instead of being built here. If it's here, it can already hit the infantry when it goes for this capture. In this case, this guy can't. So definitely a little bit lost there due to a slower recon by. It would have delayed. Probably the comm towers would have gotten delayed. I'm not sure. But either way. I guess it's okay. This infantry is going to die either way. But there was no tank follow-up for this recon because we do go for another recon buy over here. But because there's no tank follow-up for this recon, Sami is actually able to probably successfully ward off this recon harassment, which shouldn't quite be that easy. Yeah, it has to run away. So this is looking really good for Poland. This is why recon harassments have to be really fast to be very effective. And Neverlocke goes for a base skip here too. So Poland has already cost Neverlocke a unit without having to do any attacks whatsoever. That's definitely good for Poland. We'll see if... I mean, these recons will be useful throughout the entire game because Sami's so foot soldier focused. And at this point, it looks like Neverlocke's going to try and put the pressure on Poland here. It's not because you have to do more than just take the cities. You actually have to also hold them. Poland's going for some nice mech spam. This happens a lot from this base just because it's right next to mountains, and the mechs just get to chill on mountains as they approach this city. Okay. Neverlocke decides not to finish the capture. This must be a misclick. I think what happened here is Neverlocke clicked on the infantry and is used to like the capture command popping up to the right, and it just popped up to the left this time. So it went for really fast, like click click, and just walks off the city. That would be my guess as to what happened. That's really rough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do not like this tank placement. I guess it's okay now because this tank is here, so Sami can't kill this infantry to let the tank first strike happen. But at the same time, the cities aren't being captured, so Poland's just kind of happy. He's after the recon instead. Just keeps cranking out those tanks. The mech swarms have a very hard time front switching, but at least they're fairly cheap to get rid of. We are going to go for some attacks on these mechs. I guess this is then hits here, and then this guy goes here and finishes off this mech. Oh, break there and then hit the other mech. Hold on, okay. Doesn't mean this mech lives. But the recon, I think the recon still dies from this attack. We'll see. I mean, definitely go for the tank strike. I don't think Poland should have hit that recon with that tank, just because this is not actually being captured yet. But it's probably going to be fine just because it is currently a 4-3 tank advantage. Okay, now it's 4-4 on the front. Let's run up for this recon. Ooh, that's an annoying capture. That's something that Neverlocke can't actually stop. And it takes, to stop the Sami captures, it takes more than one unit. Or like an especially strong unit, like an anti-air. I mean, Max can do it with tanks because of the firepower. The infantry alone will not be able to stop this capture, so that's these already in Poland's hands. Interesting. So instead of engaging in this fight. Just gonna go take another city. Then we're gonna just join on this city. Okay. That's to make it so that Neverlocke can't start the capture. And also to build this copter. So we join these. Where does mech go? Oh, it sacrificed itself into that. So what's going on over here is that Neverlocke's tank is overloaded. As you can see, it has, well, these options aren't great, but it's got one hit this tank, one hit this infantry. That's basically the two it really wants. So it's overloaded with two really good options. The tank first strike, of course, is good. And then also it's kind of required to save this city. Maybe not. The 4 health recon and this infantry might be enough. Probably are. So we do go for the tank first strike. The city is not savable because there's 2 sides for units to hit it. These infantry all get gobbled up. This is really good for Neverlocke. As I've said many times in the Fog Sami games, without infantry, Sami's just a negative CO. Her power, her day-to-day does nothing except give her a minus to her vehicles, and her powers end up doing nothing. So anytime you can just kill off all of Sami's infantry on a front, you're really happy. Now there's still a nice healthy number over here. But if we're looking at the unit counts currently, Sami's down to 11 infantry. That's still definitely enough to do something. Although a lot of them are really far back. Still okay. Poland is up 5k, which is really good. But Neverlocke's gonna get, I assume, the power. Maybe not gonna use the power this turn. Let's see. But Neverlocke's gonna be able to get a unit count advantage, which often matters more than the income when dealing with Sami, just because of how many infantry you need. Okay. Unlike with Sami, you can indeed interrupt captures very easily. Although, in this case, even if this was a Sami infantry, it would be interrupted. As this city starts being captured, we're at a 3k advantage for Poland. Making sure to build some more infantry, which is good. Recons get some nice kills. Down goes the mech. Neverlocke. While Neverlocke's not as, I guess, like hyper focused on keeping infantry alive, you do still need to have some in order to take back all these cities that Sami takes from you. Down goes this recon. Rest in peace. We get tank first strike from Poland. This will give Neverlocke a max super next turn. Pretty good, for sure. Copter is still out of range of the anti-air with the max super. There's no copters for Neverlocke, which is unfortunate. So currently, Poland should start threatening for some super shenanigans, and right now there's just one. I guess there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties that are being threatened by the super. That's pretty good. I don't know if that's going to last. Neverlocke does use the max super, so the main thing here is just to clean up a whole bunch of units. Like so, all those tanks go down. There goes the infantry. There goes another infantry. Anti-air can go attack infantry, but not great over here because the artillery's covering and there's nothing to break this copter, so it's going to just protect against the helicopters that Poland has over here. And then I definitely agree with Neverlocke. Time to get away from this front and just lock down as many of these cities as you can. And properties in general. So that Poland super isn't too threatening. Poland goes straight for the super though. Okay. There's one city. This one for sure should be taken. We can kill this off with tanks. It's interrupted. There was an infantry that could have taken this, but I don't know what happened to it. What's this guy? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What does this guy do instead? Ah, interrupts here. Unfortunate. Okay, this is a pretty good Poland super. There was 3 cities that flipped, one of which was neutral. We're at 21k to 13k. That's almost a win by capture. But not quite there. This copter is really annoying for Neverlocke. Oh, we do have a copter. Okay, Neverlocke did build a copter. So we'll see how this goes. There's kind of an HQ cap threat, but the power is gone for Poland right now. And the longer that Poland sticks around over here and less the production gets shut down, the more units that they're going to end up hemorrhaging. I don't know why this copter took such a passive position. It does let this guy just get picked off, which is unfortunate. I don't like that Poland is engaging in these fights over here. Kind of prefer to be doing what Neverlocke's doing, which is staying within base range so that if there's going to be fighting, it's going to be overextending. As is. It's not too bad for Neverlocke to stay fighting over here now. So, but that is a very nice unit count lead for Poland here. He's very good. But we do have a max power that's going to be available. There we get smacked. There goes the copter. Units. Ooh. This is a pretty cheeky capture. Poland can interrupt it, but Poland doesn't really want to send this tank away from the vehicle fight in order to do so. So that's a very nice play by Neverlocke. No power used that turn. It would go straight for the double time. Okay. Well, the double time helps interrupt this capture, but it does mean that was a very sad. It does mean that the victory march is going to be much farther away. Okay. We do have some captures going on that require a response, which can just kind of overload Neverlocke's units. I mean, it's kind of only one that really requires a response. This is a 7 health infantry, so it can just get hit by one thing and be fine. And now the copter over here from Poland went in to just hit the Neverlocke copter. Yeah. Now the air dominance is now in Neverlocke's hands. This does get figured up. See, the nice thing there is it required that tank to to go for that attack. In fact, I think it probably shouldn't have been this tank. I think this tank should have done it because it has less options. Here, look at these two tanks. This one can go like all over the place. This one can pretty much just go here, so I would prefer this one. Yeah. But I guess it's fine. So the idea is that Neverlocke's like, I'm abandoning this. This is not my piece of cake. Okay, this is not my jam. Let's go fight elsewhere. And again, it's more about the unit count for Sami than necessarily this income. Because if we're looking at, we'll look at the end of this turn here. Okay. So if you see that Poland's got like an 8K income lead, which is really nice. But in order to try and maintain this 8K income lead, Poland lost over 20K that turn. I mean, it wasn't max super turn, but still, if you're losing over 20K a turn, your 8K income lead will not be able to help you. You're just not able to cover the losses that you're having to suffer in order to maintain the income that you have currently. And that a lot of that's just going to come down to how many units available you have to do everything. Which again is something that's hard capped by your number of production facilities that also is not helped by your income. Okay. Right now, Neverlocke has 10 infantry against 11 infantry and 2 mechs. We're at 6 tanks to 3, 2 copters to 3 and anti-air. So what's going to start happening, and you really don't like to see it when you're Sami, is that your the Sami infantry count is going to start dwindling, as it kind of is already. And Max doesn't have to, even much lower in income here. Max doesn't have to like skimp out on the vehicle buys, can just kind of build as many as possible. And that forces Sami to respond with vehicle buys, and then that means Sami's no longer building as many infantry as she would like to. Very aggressive over here. I kind of like it. The tanks aren't really in position, and now that these tanks are blocking the way, the anti-air can't actually reach these copters. That lets Poland go for this city. We have a Neo tank. Don't think that. Yeah, that was a sketchy attack. I mean, I think if Neverlocke wants to, you can go infantry. Or not infantry, you can go copter plus tank to kill this, and then this copter plus a tank to kill this, and then a tank can hit the anti-air if that's what the goal is here. Very weird to attack into this though, I mean, Neo tank is on its way. I guess it's just to try and get these counters. That's fine. This copter is not very assailable by this anti-air, so it is trying to hold its own against the triple copter threat. The anti-air is kind of helping. Okay. Here's the Neo tank. The nice thing about the Neo tank buy for Poland is, one, it's like really good against all these tanks, but also it allowed for that double infantry buy-in, which is one of the reasons you want to build, especially usually in Fog, but it's like one of those reasons you go for the big units. It's not for the big unit necessarily, it's for the infantry, while also not losing in a fight. Okay, we're still at 10k up for Poland, and there hasn't been any fighting, that much fighting recently, so that's really good for Poland. That would mean that it means that the income's actually started to do something here. And Neverlocke just resigns. Ooh. Decided to give up once this city fell. I mean, these two cities do look like they're not going to get captured. Well, maybe this one. Yeah. The lone copter trying to fight these ones off is just not going to quite work out. But very close. Neverlocke almost pulled that out. I think if there was just a little... maybe with like one more copter, Neverlocke could do it. But it's definitely tough. GG. I really didn't like that double time from Poland. But it ended up working out, so it's okay. And Poland's start, though, is just absolutely amazing. It's like a huge... like basically starting with an income lead and costing the opponent a unit by not even attacking. Yeah, being down in income is very discouraging. Especially, I mean, once the fighting dies down, then the Sami income lead is going to start mattering a lot because you're no longer losing like 20k a turn. You're losing very little a turn, and suddenly that income matters. No longer having to offset huge losses. Ooh, it's Jess versus Sami. We just saw this map. Wild map. Yeah, you saw it in my game. It was a tournament game. Heck, I've just run 4 max super tanks into that thing and called a winning trade. Yeah, I was at her. I know, it's Habits. Habits versus DMC 26. So last stream I talked a lot about this map because we covered my game on it. We'll see how these two players go about it. I would definitely favor Jess over Sami, because I think the copter play in the top is pretty good, and of course the middle is, well, I guess both Jess and Sami have equally flawed copters, so it's not really that much of an advantage one way or the other. But the center is going to have the Jess advantage, of course, because it's nice. It's pretty wide open for vehicle play. Something that's going to be really nice for Sami, though, is if Sami makes it to the victory march in a fairly even game, it's quite possible to suddenly get all 4 comm towers on that march. These ones pretty easy because you can like threaten it from this river tile 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for instance. But even this one, you can threaten it from next to your HQ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if Habits gets a little too careless, suddenly you can go from having like 2 comm towers to 2 comm towers to 4 comm towers to 0, which would offset any negative Sami vehicles for sure. Here we go. We got the recons moving out. Just harassment ready. Sami is actually going for also double recon opener, which I'm not going to be a huge fan of. We'll see if it works out. Happus does get a pick off. Well, not pick off, but an attack on this infantry. Knocking it down to 4. And again, you'd prefer, of course, to be in the forest rather than next to the comm tower, because you don't want your opponent striking you from the better terrain and all that fun stuff. Over a few times. Same thing, like, I mean, over here it's fine to do this because there's like no way your opponent hits you, but this is another case where you can just move into the forest or move onto the mountain and then move on to the harbor, rather than moving as far forward as you can. As long as you get there in the same number of turns, it doesn't really matter. Of all the things to have your captures interrupted on, though, you kind of prefer it to be the comm tower, because that doesn't give you any money. So as long as you don't get into a huge fight, the fact that your comm tower is delayed in comparison to where you're going when you were going for it is not a big deal. Rabbit's just kind of chilling on these cities, are blocking the way. We get a nice harassment towards this tank. And DMC does see the starting this capture. There isn't much invested from either player to control these corners at this point. I would expect Sami to be going for that. Oh my gosh, what? Some deep dive infantry movements. So we do have the kind of like a first strike from the forest against this Jess tank, but Happus was very much ready for this. Kills off that tank, and now there's nothing over here for Sami anymore to do any of the fighting. We don't see a single Sami mech, which is very concerning, because that means that Sami's kind of just playing like Jess right now, and Sami's a much worse Jess than Jess is. The mechs can deploy very quickly from this base into the middle fight. And Sami mechs will pretty much one-shot. Well, one-shot recons, but even with powers can one-shot tanks as well. So Sami is getting into a big fight without her tower after all. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this aggression. So this is usually kind of I'll say folly, specifically in Fog Sami. In Standard Sami, you can often go more for this kind of thing, where you're like, aha, I'm going for your captures, and you can't actually stop me, because I'm Sami and I have my capture advantage. But in Fog of War, because you can't see where all of your opponent's units are, sometimes you're just sending your unit forward to die, and even when you get the capture, you usually lose the infantry in the long run, although this one might survive. And then once, as we were saying in the last game too, when Sami's out of infantry, she's just a negative CO, so you can't quite just throw them forward and try and get value out of your superior infantry. Because losing them hurts a lot. And then you get stuck into these situations where you have to just build nothing but vehicles. Suddenly your front's going to have no infantry left. And a few things like we saw Poland do last game, you can try and tech up to tech up so that you can afford to build infantry. And that's fine as long as you have the support vehicles to provide the vision, like this recon, for instance, is nice. Okay, so with that attack, Sami did get this city to take some infantry losses, but as long as it stabilizes like this, then Sami will be pretty happy. This is very aggressive. It is just barely out of the 1-turn move for Jess. But still a very aggressive little lurch forward here. There we go. So yeah, this is the kind of thing you have to do. You tech up to the medium tank, and then you go the double infantry buy. Unfortunately, the medium tank is way down here. Okay, so weirdly, Havitz the Jess player is the one that's ahead in the little side islands here. But as you can see, Jess really enjoys having all of these vehicles in this nice wide open area. Okay, and then we're just backing off. So all of these units, not the recon, but all these other units are within the 1-turn move from this base. So striking these units is net negative. It would be an overextension, right? The tank would move forward, it would kill a 6 health infantry. So it would remove a 6 health infantry from the fight, but it would introduce a neo tank into the fight. So you wouldn't want to hit those. Hitting that recon's fine-ish, because it's outside of the steam range. But you also don't really want to get too cuddly with the Jess army. You like this from Sami. If you're seeing that there's nothing actually covering these cities, then this is the perfect time to start moving in on those. Ooh, we have a bomber buy. That's spicy. Neotank's not spotted, but this could be some spidey senses happening from DMC, being like, well, I don't see as much value as I would expect to see, so you might have a heavy vehicle. Like if you save up for a turn kind of thing. Habits is going to be pretty incentivized to end up using a power to try and just wipe out Sami. Get the power after using the anti-airs. Just power efficiency there. The recon spots the whole army over here, so should feel very safe in attacking on this front. All the tanks do get chipped down. Medium tank can't reach anything. Okay, you reveal this artillery. We're gonna have recon plus tank take it out. In our own artillery, because Jess has the power boost, knock this down to 2, and then this guy can switch it off. This is probably an attack. I guess this is fine. You get the 6-7. The comm tower capture still goes through, but now this infantry is injured for later. And then yeah, in the center, especially getting the first power, Jess is happy. You knock this infantry down to 8, and the 7 health infantry with the power boost on the comm tower is going to be pretty much impossible for this tank to take out. So this comm tower shouldn't flip when Sami hits the super. Oh, Sami's not even going to hit the super, just going to resign. Yeah, it was a pretty devastating attack in here. If Sami goes for the super, it looks like this, like 1, 2, 3 cities go down. Or I guess the bombers probably try and break the block. But yeah, that's why Jess really likes that center. Like those vehicles can just fly all over the place and just kill all the units off. You think it was the bomber? The bomber has to hit the black boat twice, or it needs some more support. Maybe bomber plus medium tank to kill the black boat. That might have been the plan. I mean, this timed out. This is timed out pretty well for DMC because I think it goes here. Bomber goes here-ish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. If that was, it looks like it was DMC's plan. You kind of have to pull back instead of getting too aggressive there. Because Habit's just super punished. GG. Jess loves the center there. Yeah, 1 turn too late. Normalpoe versus Palmer. Another Jess. Palmer. Nice. Get on. Got it. So how did you come up with the recon in the corner idea for this map? I was just looking at the corner, being like, it's a very choky area. I would really like to be able to disrupt my opponent there and draw units up to that spot so I can kind of strand them. So what's the easiest way to do that in the recon scene? The fastest and easiest way to do it. I mean, you have to check to make sure you actually get there in time, but I guess it's just letting the geography of the map determine what your strategy is going to be. Which is a lot easier to do when you've seen a lot of people play. Okay. People do like sharing their tournament games, it's true. You've got Jess versus Adder. This is a pretty good Jess map. I would favor Jess over Adder here, I think. There's some okay mech plays because there's quite a few forests. But for the most part, it's just like a wide open field. So the Jess vehicles are going to run rampant, as we can see with normalpoe's double recon opener. You have Palmer going recon into transport copter, so we might see some mechs get deployed here. Or just infantry. Oh, we got a tank. And lots of recons from normalpoe. Okay, we're at quad recon opener followed by an artillery. This one does get some nice harassment going. Looking good. We go for the recon first strike here from normalpoe. It's a little bit of a desperation move for sure. Probably should have followed it up with another recon strike if you're going to go for that. But it's okay. This infantry getting hit didn't really slow down too much stuff. We're good to go. Kind of like a tiny bit behind in econ because you want to be ending your turn ahead, but just like a very tiny bit behind. And it could just be delayed. Normalpoe does get some nice disruption. The infantry moving up to this corner, but we do get the mech dropped off nicely into the woods. And this is one of the nice things about this map for mechs is that there's very forward woods. And those woods cover a lot of spots. And the really cool thing about doing this is, even though you have like a single mech in this one forest tile, now your opponent has to be concerned about like all the forest tiles. There could be, you've shown the propensity to put the mechs there, so your opponent has to be wary of all of them, even if you only do it one time. It's pretty good. Normalpoe going all in on this harassment. Does have it covered nicely with this tank. We'll see how Palmer handles it. Usually the way you're going to want to deal with that kind of thing is pull back and strike on the other front, so that all of your vehicles are together to wipe out the harassers. Ooh. The mech has stepped out onto the road. That's a dangerous place to be, senior mech. Palmer is going for the lab cap of dominance, but yeah, poor mech is okay. No, it's not. That does reach. So the mech does get smacked. Kind of ruins the defensive formation on this front for Palmer. Yeah, the mech wants to hide out in the forest for sure. Let them come to the mech. You did a sturm mirror here and your walls felt impenetrable, aside from the meteor turns. You love this map? This map just screams Jake mirrors. This map to me has always screamed Kindle mirrors. And in all versions of this map, this is the Kindle mirror map. It's difficult to find tiles you can stand on that are not next to a city. They really went with that checkerboard. Palmer pops the power here. Up around. Does delay the capture. This is looking really nice for normalpoe, unless this artillery is discovered. Looks like it's not going to get discovered, so this is a very happy artillery. To attack the infantry over here, just trying to trade out. Mech healing up at the HQ. Okay, there we go. Once you get some mech chains going, they'll be a lot happier. I know Normalpoe's took some decent hits there. Goes for the turbo charge. Why? So usually the turbo charge is used when it's giving you like a whole bunch of attacks that you wouldn't normally get. But I don't think it might give this anti-air an attack you wouldn't normally get. But otherwise it's just giving a tiny bit of a firepower boost. That's not gonna be really worth it. Like, sure, maybe it did like an extra point of damage or two to this tank. But you want your powers to be a little more impactful than that. Okay, this copter traveled a long way just to get killed by an anti-air. Rest in peace. Mech gets brought up here. Come back, deployment, and yeah, just run to the safety of the mechs. Once the mechs really don't like traveling across the land where they don't get to be in defensive positions, that's when they get picked off by recons. Artillery just kills off the infantry. That's good. This has been a valuable artillery for sure. Still the recons doing their thing. Standing in the way, getting some good vision of what's going on over here in Adderland. Now the copter. I think hits the anti-air pretty nice. There's a lot of injured tanks. So at this point, Palmer just has to run away on this front. Try sacrificing infantry and delay captures if you want to, but usually in fact you want to preserve the unit counts that you have, so you just run away with your injured units and heal them up. And of course, injured units can still fight. They just... The greatest weakness of injured units is that they can't survive first strikes. Yeah, you do this kind of thing. Exactly what Palmer is doing. You just run away, go chill on these cities to heal up. And it is gonna like hurt your bank a bit to go for all these repairs, but usually these repairs, when there's an active fight going on this front line, are going to be worth a lot more, because you spend 14k giving not 14k, 1400, 1.4k giving this tank 2 health, but that 1,400 funds gets to be used immediately in the fight, potentially. Or if you spend that same number of funds over here building another unit, that same quantity of funds is going to take multiple turns to actually get to the fight. So when you repair on the front lines, assuming your unit's not immediately dying while repairing, you get a lot more efficiency. Your money reaches the fight immediately rather than with a delay. So when you're like do a full retreat to do that, like a full retreat and heal, that's really nice. If you're in the middle of a fight and you're drawing units away that could be attacking just to go heal, that's not going to be as good, because now you're taking money. If you're looking at units purely as monetary values, you're taking money out of the fight rather than sticking around and fighting it out. Coal could be good on this map. Quite a few roads. So I do like what normalpoe is doing here. You attack on one side, you be a little more skittish on the other. Attack in here, smack the anti-air. Yeah, we weren't quite skittish enough, it seems. Palmer with a great attack in. Then this mech's going to be a pretty defensive position. It's going to be used part of the wall. It happens. Oh, it has a mech buddy. It's okay. Get a nice attack in. Tanks. That one was just repaired. This one's repaired. Now we can go in and get a better attack. Not the best. I mean, I understand trying to save the city for sure. It would either be that or hitting the anti-air. The extra health would matter more when you're hitting the anti-air. This guy will probably still die in one hit from a full health Jess tank. The power gets used. Oh, well, we have a Jess fighter. Artillery shows up to lock down tower. And we have a... Okay, never mind, that lived at 1. Infantry doesn't get the kill. The repairs, they're paying for themselves. We do have the Jess transport copter. And over here, block off for this artillery. Oh, the tank even lives because of the repairs. Okay, that worked out very nicely for Palmer. Have a little mech sacrifice. Kills off the anti-air. Kill off these straggling units. Seems good. I love this recon attack. Kill off an infantry, see the entire army, and then you get to make a decision as to what you're going to do from there. Good position for the artillery for sure. Yeah, I like it. Like, I'm not going to stay on there. I'll just get shot by this artillery. I'll just back off. Some repairs with our 1 health tank. The rest of the stuff in here. I'd like to heal this up to at least a 6. But, I mean, a 4 health anti-air can still ward off copies. Yeah, I'm not so sure on this fighter buy for Jess. We're diving in here. We're going to go for the smack on the mech. I've said it a few times in other videos, but mechs, as long as they get hit by only one infantry, are usually pretty happy. It's the 2 infantry hits that make the mechs really sad. Like in this case, these mechs can still easily kill off this recon. And while cost-wise, it's kind of even-ish. I mean, the recon does cost more, but only 1,000 more. So cost-wise, it's kind of even-ish to trade a recon for a mech, which in this case doesn't quite happen. But value-wise to like the fog theater of combat, the recon's worth a lot more because of that, all of the vision it provides. Well, yeah. So, like, an infantry hits a mech, that's cost-effective for the infantry, but the mech at 6 or 5 health is still a significant threat to vehicles. Like, this guy is still a threat to this tank at 6 health. But if it gets hit by another infantry, it's like down to 1, and suddenly it's not a threat to vehicles. In fact, it might just kill this tank. It does. Palmer should be a little bit cautious over here because this is almost the same situation that normalpoe was in up here when Palmer jumped the army. Transport copter comes back, picks up the infantry. Nice little boost. Love to see it. Do attack in here. Got some artillery lines holding up against each other. Normalpoe has to back all the way off here. The Palmer should be able to get some captures. And then try and fortify everything with the mech artillery. A very defensive formation. Whoa, we're not... Wow. Palmer being very cautious. Not even going for this capture right now. That's a very dangerous thing to do. So you don't love... I kind of like what happened to normalpoe up here. Palmer just like jumped this line of vehicles and wiped it out. This is kind of being presented like that. Currently normalpoe doesn't have enough stuff over here to just kill Palmer, but I really don't like everything being shoved up against the edge of the map. They have no recons with them, so they can't see what the opponent's forces are doing. You just walk into a huge trap and die. That is... Well, we're gonna have to... Oh no, don't stand there! Oh no. You don't want to stand there because that's one of the few slots available to hit that tank from. Yeah. Ooh, this worked out very well for Palmer, considering. The medium tank goes into the artillery range. Only really 2 tank shots. Maybe jumping the gun a little bit on the super there. Probably thought Palmer was just a little bit closer than they were. Have adder power. Back the medium tank. Out the medium tank. Quite a few tank first strikes. One on the anti-air tank. Nice. Up the artillery a tiny bit. Anti-air smacks the tank. This one just waits to be really annoying to this tank. 3 plus mech. Bam. That's what I'm saying. You need more than one infantry hit to make the mech to like really punish the mechs. Okay, back the infantry. I'm not super sold on these copter swings. I mean, I guess the anti-air was hit, but still gonna do a lot of damage. There goes the anti-air. Copter first strike. This is very unfortunate for Jess. You get the 7-4, and you actually lose this copter fight because Jess copters don't like fighting other copters, especially adder copters with powers. Okay, tank comes and hits the anti-air. This is to allow the fighter to hit this copter. Palmer's very happy with how this is playing out. So much stuff is, so many vehicles are moving into artillery and mech range. And down here it's just kind of a big old brawl. But it's a big old brawl that Palmer's about to have a huge air dominance in. Pop. But the mech got it got rearmed. Fighter goes down to 7. Yeah, the fighter buy definitely hurt Normal Joe quite a bit just because it's so expensive. But really good turn for Palmer. You get the turbocharge. Not much that can be done on this front over here though. You have to run away with the artillery. The medium tank has to move into dangerous, unscouted lands. Kill a mech. I do like how normalpoe is like pulling back and attacking the units on the outskirts. That's a good way of leading your opponent into overextending into your base range, which can make up for a lot of losses. Ooh. Palmer's definitely starting to overextend over here, but maintaining a more respectful distance on this front. Just trying to lure stuff into sacrificing themselves, the artillery, to stop the comm tower captures. Not a huge fan of how the transport copter is no longer transporting things. It's usually something you do when the fight is really, really pressing, but at this point it's not so important. So I'd like it to go back to transporting mechs. Yeah, so here normalpoe is going to get some nice attacks. So it looks like Palmer is actually able to get this city. We'll see if the city is able to be held, but that's pretty nice. So rest in peace, transport copter. You get an artillery shot at that. Oh, pretty nice. A side slip for Palmer. There isn't a ton available to finish off this medium tank. Going for the HQ. Dreaming a dream. Mech goes for the medium tank. Probably better to just chill with the mech. Maybe drop it off on this city. Build it up to 8. I mean, a medium tank at 4, a medium tank at 5, it's not that big of a deal. A mech going from 6 to 2 does hurt the mech's effectiveness quite a bit. Get the Jess super, which should get a lot done over here. Because Palmer's definitely overextending on this front. Down goes, we actually lose that one. Lose the artillery. Tank, infantry. Okay, over here, normalpoe has to retreat. This is now where Palmer should... Really what Palmer should do at this point is probably just front switch. So when you're front switching, you want to bring your vehicles to the front that has more infantry, so then you can like win fights and capture stuff. Sometimes you can front switch the infantry to the front with more vehicles, but that's way slower. Way slower. But it looks like Palmer just wants to fight it out to the end here. I mean, killing off the fighter is nice. And if you can take out all of the infantry, then you can't... Then sure, your like army gets wiped out, but they can't take any of their cities back. This is kind of like a... I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm killing off the fighters probably. All these units are going to start falling in a very cost-effective or normalpoe way. Bomb tower is at 10 here, so Palmer can do a join cap. Make it so. There's a lot of pressure on normalpoe to stop this, and you have to hit this for at least 5 damage. Which usually means a vehicle has to come in, do the hit, and the artillery are ready to punish it. No tank. Ooh. Artillery. Just unlock. So you see these are being delayed. I did like that Palmer did end up retreating over here. Kind of only stuck around for 1 turn. Does get double comm tower. And Adder really likes getting double comm tower because now you don't have to use your power in order to get that 20% power threshold. Jess also loses out on that 20% power threshold. Yeah. Normalpoe just resigns. I think that's fair. At this point, down 6k and a comm tower, it's pretty painful. As long as the only way that normalpoe would probably come back into the game is if Palmer had continued to overextend into the bases up here. GG. Thavidu versus Wabalubba 98. Wabalubba. On Scavenger, my favorite map. More Jess. Oh, we've got so much Jess going on. Okay, so there's quite a few openings. I should probably like try and like specialize in this map to make up for my distaste for it. Looks like Thavidu is going to go for a fast recon. I kind of prefer when the fast recon goes straight into this corner because it's really difficult to get these captures, or specifically like these 2 captures, if it's disrupted early on. Sending infantry all the way down here is very difficult once there's other demands on the map. It looks like Wabalubba 98 might be onto that, so we have this tank by, and if it goes straight down here, then that would be kind of in anticipation for that recon harassment. In which case, Thavidu's going for much more of a center control. Which is fine. So here, from Wabalubba, I'm fine with this like moving out towards this city. The one thing I would change is I would like this infantry to move to here, so that if the recon wants to hit you, it has to walk onto the shoals. Because if as long as the recon's on the city, it's gonna feel very comfortable just hitting it. And you kind of get the same amount of information either way. You were stuck on it for last year in the league games. I get you. Oh, and now it's out of rotation? Oh, okay. Oof. Do people still pick Jake in high-level fog? Yeah. Jake's totally valid in high-level fog. Ooh. Going in for the tank first strike. I kind of like this move. Because Thavidu's pretty clearly has this tank set up to guard this recon. And while this tank is most likely guarded by another tank, it does mean that this recon hit becomes kind of free. I'd like this move a lot more if WubbaLubba had some follow-up tanks to this. Because the bad thing about this move is that this tank is just going to die. Can't maintain the fight anymore. So if there was more tanks following this up for WubbaLubba, then this would look a lot better. But as is, it does kind of work out negatively. Yeah. If there's like another tank here to follow this up, then it's looking pretty decent. If it's just the one tank that goes in and hits this guy, and now you're suddenly going to lose this tank, and none of these tanks die, they just go back and heal. But I really like the idea of like, I hit the recon, and I'm going to hit the unit that's covering the recon. The following turns just weren't able to quite capitalize on it. Tank. Things are looking very nice for Thavidu here. WubbaLubba does go for this capture, which is pretty bold considering how the fighting's been going in this area. A nice little pick off. It's fairly safe-ish. I would probably feel pretty safe going for this attack because of how many tanks have been going over in this direction. Turns out that Thavidu actually has this covered. So I would probably run into that same problem, or the same loss of recon there, but at the same time, WubbaLubba is getting potentially this capture from it. Interesting. So if I was Thavidu here, I don't think I would send my tank forward over here. Because by golly, it just dies to the infantry. I think I would probably disrupt this center capture. Maybe you don't do enough damage guaranteed, so in that case, yeah, that's fine. Maybe Thavidu's feeling like WubbaLubba can't really have that much many vehicles left over here because of how many have died. We get the join cap in the center. WubbaLubba does get this capture at the loss of the recon, so that's not so bad. Thavidu just has a line of infantry. They could attack in here and be really happy, but they don't know it. They might attack in now. He just doesn't tend to love going for the infantry versus infantry fights. That was not a good attack. It might be that Thavidu just didn't realize that was a join cap that happened. And they're just chilling. WubbaLubba does get this city. This one looks like it's going to fall unless the anti-air decides to dive in. Be a bold decision. Works out very nicely for Thavidu. Wubba kind of sacrificed units in order to get that capture, and then Thavidu just took it. Ooh, here we go. Infantry are diving forward. They got some vehicle support. There's one anti-air for Thavidu at this point, and it's way down here. There should definitely be at least one anti-air per front. But this works out well for Wubba. Now this guy, this copter can dive in and hit this tank. No fear. Well, there's probably a lot of fear, but it works out. The Thavidu anti-air is way far away. We have a nice, again, a little line of infantry standing along here. Some of them are definitely a bit exposed. He just starts going for the capture. Retreats with these guys. They don't have any vehicle support, so they just gotta run and hide, and then might initiate into kind of an HQ race, in which case Thavidu would be doing a lot better because there's a medium tank and artillery on the way to this HQ. It's just kind of copters. I mean, copters can kill black boats, but they kill them pretty slowly in comparison to them. It's such a cursed map. I don't like it either. Pop. Take out the recon. Got the tank. Oftentimes, a lot of fog battles can come down to just vision denial. In which case, it's usually very helpful to have some backup recons, in which case Thavidu has two backup recons. That's really good. And Wubba also has, or just build a backup recon, or a new recon for this front. Both are doing a pretty good job at trying to maintain decent vision. Rest in peace, anti-air. Killed the copter. You did your job. Becomes much more risky to go for when you don't have that vision required to actually have an idea of exactly where your opponent's army is and its composition. Looks like it's probably going to work out. It has had to back up quite a bit. So when you back up, it does give your opponent the opportunity to kind of overextend and then die, but at the same time it also gives them the opportunity to not overextend and die, and instead just go for your outlying cities. So it can be good and bad. When you're going for the outlying cities, do not stand next to the cities unless you're capturing them. Or if it's like a next level bait where you got like artillery for days staring at it, and you're like, aha, now the tank will stand there and hit my infantry and I'll shell the tank. Let's get the artillery position to do so. The double medium tanks, they're so far back. Which is, I mean, you know, sometimes you want to have them far back because you don't want your opponent to spot them. But that does mean that they can only be used defensively. You know, they're already kind of slow. But if you get the +2 movement, so maybe it's okay. Both players have their supers. So they're, at this point, you'd expect to see a lot of recons coming out so that you can scout out for where your opponent's army might be and use your power to wipe them out. Okay, there we go. We got one recon diving forward. A little bit. Thavidu is so insistent on Wubba overextending. Okay, we got Neotech. Recon dives forward. It's going to see the whole army here. So you'll expect Wubba to not move into range. Kind of just moved into range. think Thavidu doesn't actually have a recon left with the army. Oh no, there was one over here. Okay. So it does see some more stuff. Do pop the super. That was a good move. Thavidu's just checking this forest because it would be really embarrassing if the tank dives forward and just gets trapped. Check. Charge forward with our medium tank, and then the neo tank hits artillery. Anti-air doesn't get the kill on this recon. I'm not quite sure why the anti-air went for the kill on the recon. Whatever. I guess it's fine. It's a pretty defensive position to have your anti-airs. Their main role is to not die so that you don't just get swarmed by copters. Oh. So, looks like Thavidu was like, you didn't have enough stuff over here, so it must be up here. I'm gonna buy a battle chip to save my HQ. In which case, Thavidu's pretty much committed to this being an HQ race. It's like Wubba Lubba might not be committed to it being an HQ race. Yeah, it's actually just going to front switch, try and save the HQ. And the battleship does get to shoot a recon, which is okay. And Neo Tanks get to do the Neo Tank thing. This is looking very nice. Thavidu. Even with the battleship by, I think this tack did enough damage that Wubba Lubba's not going to be able to get here in time to make up for everything that's happened. The attacking with like the medium tank and everything. As the units are front switching, they're getting picked off a little bit. Battleship. Mostly, I think it's only been recon so far, but losing recons is very painful. The Wubba Lubba has been doing a really good job of making sure that there are excess recons. Love to see it. Over there. Maintains vision. Recon comes down. Kill off this copter. Neo tank would love to hit this medium tank. But it's also got to feel very... Well, I mean, it ended up killing it, so that's pretty good. But probably feeling a little bit pensive about it too. Because there was at least a Neo tank over here before. And because Thavidu got the first power, he's going to reach the super first. Yeah, I know the battleship could have shot the medium tank, they couldn't see it. Thavidu needs a little bit more vision going on there. Pop. Surprised Thavidu didn't pop the super. Because we just saw a bunch of units charge forward over here. Okay, well now Thavidu... This does mean that Thavidu gives up potentially having the first, or like the second super first. Wubba Lubba now has access as well. No properties got captured in that entire exchange, but we do have a battleship. It is staring at the capture. Thavidu has retreated all the way back. Yeah, I think that was definitely the opportunity to just pop the super and try and end the game. I think it might just be that Thavidu didn't have enough recons to confidently do that. We have another fighter. I don't know what's going on with these Jess fighters. It might just be Thavidu getting some spidey senses, thinking that Wubba Lubba might be going for a stealth. Just Fighter is the new meta, I know. I would prefer going for some Jess stealths if you're feeling like building up the Jess Air Force. At least that would help with the scouting. If you don't know, stealths have 4 vision in fog, which is pretty good. Ooh, okay, we have the block rock. The Wubba Lubba's gonna be the first one to use the super this time, although my gosh, that's a pretty large distance between the armies. I don't think this medium tank even gets a target. Yeah. Yeah. Everything just kind of inches forward, so now if the counter super gets to be super strong. Should probably have checked with the recon. It would have been amazing if Wubba Lubba hadn't walked forward with the rest of the army, and so only the units that got sent forward are the ones that got hit. The Jess super would kind of whiff. But in this case, it should matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh wow, it doesn't actually reach this medium. Way more attacks. Oh, the Neo Tank didn't attack though. Okay. Not that many more attacks, but more attacks. Everything is pretty well defended by the battleship though. Tank kills the recon. Attack these outskirts. This is pretty bold from Wubba Lubba. The battleship is known about. Looks like a bit of a desperation play. The way that these copters are in a line, I think Wubba Lubba's like, well, if you don't have anti-air, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. With a mega tank here. But Thavidu does have anti-air. The copters are in a ton of trouble. With the fighter here. Green the line. This guy is a little bit of trouble. He's a little isolated, trying to hold this city. We do get the block rock. Wubba Lubba there, and the bomber. Oh, it's a tile off from hitting the medium tank. The fighter gets hit with the anti-air though. Down goes the Neo Tank. Down goes the medium tank. Some pretty strong hits on these infantry. Definitely diving in deep, but it's not too bad. Unfortunately, no cities are being captured. So a lot of these fights are just going to be fights to fight. Just brawl into brawl. Mega tank shows up, kills a copter. Ugh. I mean, you can't feel too bad as Wubba Lubba if you dive forward and you still have like half your army that charged forward. Although most of it's just infantry that are alive. Wubba Lubba resigns. That's fine. The vehicles went down. That was a brutal fight, with lots of stalling in between. This is what I would call fighting just to fight, though, because no properties ended up getting threatened with the capture. They just got split evenly down the map. Should have hit the mega tank at least. Jess wins. Faint attacks, yeah, they can be pretty nasty. Alright, that's the end of the stream. Hope everyone enjoyed. I should be back on Monday with another one. So we'll get through the backlog. No worries, no worries. I hope everyone had a fun time. And thanks for watching. It's Apple time.
It's Go7, king of the penguins. Of all the penguins, he is king. It's Go7, king of the penguins. Being king of the penguins, that's